I know your brother is a cop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is. He is. A detective. He's been on the force a long time. Um, from my talks with him, he's only um, pulled his service weapon once or twice. One time he used it, his baton wouldn't open. The collapsible baton wouldn't open. So he chose to turn his gun, which was properly on safety, into a baton, and he used it against a gentleman they were chasing. Now, what did my brother do immediately when they eventually arrested the suspect? He was the senior officer on the scene at the time. He pointed to his number two. He said, I pulled my weapon. You're in charge of the scene. Here is my gun. I'm going to go sit in the car and wait on the supervisor to arrive. The gentleman in Minneapolis who pulled the trigger left the scene of the shooting. I was shocked by that part of just an impossible situation for everyone involved. That is on the White House. That is on the president. Everyone involved in these things is being put in a terrible situation by the president and the administration. These guys, Brian, Brian and I were texting about this the day it happened and the day after. And as I said to you, Brian, they don't move like police officers. They don't act like police officers. They don't interact like police officers. You don't I don't think a police officer is trained to stick his hand inside of a car. That's the engine is on. It's clearly in gear. And again, they just don't act like police officers. They clearly have not gotten the right training. And that's what the three of us talked about that in February and March when this was starting. I was saying this last night. If you wanted to do this right, and you say, okay, we're going to do this mass deportation program, we're going to pull from Border Patrol. We're going to pull from ICE. We're going to pull from the Secret Service Police. Go on down the list. What you would probably do is set up a training program at Quantico, led by the FBI, bring in local, bring in all the big police departments, all the police departments that you think you're going to go to those towns. Bring in police officials from Charlotte, from Portland, from Minneapolis, from New York, from LA, and go on down the list and train with them, or at least let them see your training. Ask them what works in their communities. There was none of that. They're just pulling guys off the border in their fatigues
Yeah,
and throwing them into these cities. It's an impossible, and that's not fair to the agents either.
that's the point.
They're being
Yes.
put in impossible situations. And what you're seeing now, and I don't mean this as a pejorative, this is going to now be the Karens versus the Border Patrol. This is not a good situation. This is dangerous. It's going to get more violent. We've had more shootings. These guys aren't trained for community policing, and that's what it comes down to, right? When these protesters come out.
Protect and serve versus infiltrate and neutralize.
That's right. This is the exact scenario the three of us talked about last year, and it's playing out. It took longer than I thought it would, but we're here.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, you've represented some of the people, including, did I pronounce Michael Fanone's name wrong?
You said Mark.
Oh, I said Mark. I'm sorry, Michael Fanone. Well, it's the morning coffee. I haven't had any yet. But you've represented police, and you and I both know a police officer who I know a police officer in Montgomery County who was suspended when a guy ran over his foot, and Tom Manger, whom we both know, suspended the guy for discharging his weapon, and actually nothing happened, but the officer was suspended for it. This has not gone down any way that a police effort would go down. But your thoughts?
There are so many points to make that we could obviously spend the entire time of the podcast talking about and breaking down this one event.